If I told you a single computer facility is about to consume um, more than double the electricity of the entire state of Utah, you'd probably think I was describing science fiction.
Yeah, it completely shatters our whole perception of the cloud.
Right. But that is exactly what the $100 billion Stratos project is proposing. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are unpacking a massive report on this proposed artificial intelligence data center. The mission here is to show you the staggering physical infrastructure required to run the invisible AI that you rely on every single day.
Exactly, because generating 9 gigawatts of power,
Yeah.
that isn't just plugging some servers into the grid. It requires building a private industrial power plant.
Which is wild. So how do they actually pull that off? Because you can't just draw 9 gigawatts from the local utility without, like, browning out the entire region.
Right, well, they aren't taking a single electron from the public system. Developers are building what they call a shadow grid.
Wait, a shadow grid?
Yeah, they basically bypass the U.S. utility grid entirely by tapping directly into the interstate Ruby pipeline. So they're burning natural gas on site using these advanced turbines.
Oh, wow. So you, as a residential consumer, you won't see your electricity rate spike because the project operates completely off-grid.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on, because you're talking about 9 gigawatts of continuous power in the middle of the desert. Unlike traditional data centers that just, route web traffic, training AI requires running thousands of GPUs at maximum capacity 247.
Yeah, they never stop.
And that power converts almost entirely into massive amounts of thermal exhaust. So where is all that heat going?
Well, this is where we hit the terrifying thermodynamics of the project. Between the gas turbines and the computing hardware, this facility will continuously emit 22,500 megawatts of waste heat into the atmosphere.
That number is just, it's hard to even process.
I know. So to visualize that, physicists say it is thermodynamically equivalent to 96 football fields of dense forest burning to ash every single hour.
Every hour. I mean, that is essentially a permanent fire in the sky.
Yeah. And that heat threatens to fundamentally alter the local microclimate. Models suggest it could spike local nighttime temperatures by up to 12 degrees Fahrenheit.
12 degrees. That would completely disrupt the natural dew cycle, right? Like starving the local desert flora of surface moisture.
Exactly, and creating artificial thermal columns that could severely threaten the millions of migratory birds relying on the nearby Great Salt Lake.
Which brings up a huge point. With that much heat right next to the Great Salt Lake, won't they have to drain that fragile ecosystem just to cool the servers? I mean, evaporative cooling on that scale takes millions of gallons of water.
You would think so, but the engineering here is actually quite brilliant. They are mandated to use an advanced closed-loop dry cooling system. It basically functions like a giant car radiator.
Oh, so they aren't draining the lake.
No, the lake is strictly off-limits. And the water they do use for initial pipe charging is highly saline, degraded groundwater that they desalinate on site.
Wow, so they actually project a net positive hydrological outcome, like using less water than the previous agricultural farming did on that land.
Exactly.
But even if it saves water, a 40,000-acre self-powered compound sounds like it would look and sound like a chaotic, smoke-belching 20th century refinery.
Well, actually, the county enforced incredibly strict guardrails. Noise is capped at 55 decibels at the property line.
Which is roughly the hum of a household dishwasher, right?
Yep. And building heights are restricted so they don't exceed the reach of local fire trucks. Plus, the entire site is dark sky compliant to eliminate light pollution.
Okay, so they're building a quiet, dark, 40,000-acre self-powered compound. That sounds more like a classified military base than a tech startup, which might explain how a $100 billion project actually got approved in a rural county without getting bogged down in traditional zoning.
Yeah, they used a very unique legal loophole. The developers partnered with a state-level military zoning framework known as MIDA.
Oh, I see. So by doing this under the banner of national security infrastructure, they legally overrode local democratic town halls, planning commissions, and traditional county zoning boards.
Exactly. And the documents show a massive collision of interests here.
Right. At the grassroots level, a bipartisan coalition groups like BEAR are fiercely protesting the sudden loss of democratic control and the looming environmental risks.
But if you look at the developers' filings, their counterargument is purely geopolitical.
Right. And we want to be completely impartial here and just report what the sources are saying. The developers argue this project is a vital national security imperative in the global AI race against China.
Yes, the lead developer even went on national television claiming the local opposition is actually being influenced by foreign proxies trying to cripple U.S. computing power.
Foreign proxies. Wow. I mean, critics can say that sounds like a highly convenient excuse to dismiss the concerns of local residents who just want a say in what happens in their own backyards.
Right, and the local organizers furiously deny the proxy claims. They call them a distraction from the fact that a private corporation used a military loophole to sidestep democracy.
But the developers maintain that in the AI arms race, speed is a matter of national survival, and local zoning laws are a bottleneck they literally cannot afford.
It's a really intense clash of perspectives.
It really is. And it makes you think about the true cost of convenience. The next time you generate a quick AI prompt, remember that it's not weightless. You are relying on a massive, permanent physical footprint.
Absolutely, and it leaves you with an important question to ponder.
What's that?
Well, if maintaining global technological supremacy requires circumventing local democracy to build 9-gigawatt mega campuses, at what point does our digital infrastructure begin to govern our physical world rather than the other way around?